Hi, this is Katie with Katie Creations, and today we are going to do a tutorial on how to change your colors on a corner-to-corner stitch pattern. You can see here that I've got 3 colors worked in here. This was my starting corner, and as I worked my rows across, I changed, but I never finished this off. I carried this yarn through, and same up here. Whenever I started working these colors in, I did not finish these off. It does create a good few ends that need to be sewn in, but the design patterns that you're able to work are really fun and fabulous. So hopefully you'll find this helpful as you are working those wonderful corner-to-corner patterns. This tutorial is not intended to teach you the corner-to-corner pattern, but rather how to change colors while you're working the stitches. So if you are not familiar with how the stitch is worked, you can go over to Moogly blog by following the link below, and she has a really great tutorial that will teach you how to work the pattern. For this tutorial, I'm going to use Sugars and Cream yarn. I find it to be a really durable yarn, and I love it. It's perfect for making washcloths and other things that you know are going to get a lot of wear and tear. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing with this tutorial, I will not be showing every single stitch as we work across. I will be pausing and let you finish working that color across, and I will pick it back up with the tutorial once we have a new color change. So that way you're not sitting there trying to fast forward as you work the design that you already know how to work. When working this design, you do need multiple skeins of yarn. This color, you don't, as you only need one end to be working from, but whenever you get to these 2 colors, you have one end that you need to start this side, and then whenever you get to this side of the row, and likewise up here, you will need an additional end of yarn. So you can either create yourself some bobbins, have 2 skeins of yarn, or you can use 1 skein of yarn and simply pull both from the inside and unravel from the outside of the same skein. So with that being said, go ahead and grab your hook and yarn, and I will see you at the end of the 3rd row. So go ahead and work 1, 2, 3, and I'll see you at the end of this row right there. So here we have the end of our 3rd row. See, we've worked all the way up to this point right here. And so I'm going to to join the color, I'm going to pull out that last loop, and I'm going to put my hook back on. And this is where we're going to change our color. So go ahead and grab your next color, yarn over, and pull up the loop. And that's how we've changed our colors. So now we're going to start working on this one right here. So go ahead and change 6, turn, work those 3 double crochet, now you've completed that first square out here. So we need to switch back to our yellow color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my 2nd color on my hook, and I'm going to pull up this yarn, my yellow yarn, from the back of my work. Make sure whenever you drop off this 2nd color that you drop it in the front, and that will be clear to you whenever we turn our work and we get back over to this location to work those stitches some more. So I'm going to pick up my yarn from the back, and I'm going to work in the top row, that 1, 2, 3, those top 3 double crochets. That's what I'm going to be working in. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert my hook in the top of those next 2 double crochet stitches, pull up a loop, and pull through. I just slip stitched, do the same thing again, that top of that next double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, slip stitch, and in the chain 3 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, slip stitch, and now I'm going to slip stitch that second color so that way I've changed back to my yellow. Tighten this back up a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and work these next 2 yellow squares. So it'll be this stitch and this stitch because we're working our way back across. So I'm going to go ahead and work these next 2 stitches, and I'll see you when we get back over here to that color. Okay, and as you can see, as my project lays, I've worked this stitch here and my next 2 yellow stitches, and now I'm coming back up here to work this color up here to complete my 4th row. So how you're going to do that is you're going to grab that second color that you're using, and you're going to slip stitch. Again, make sure that that color that you're working is in the front of the row. You're going to slip stitch and add that new color in that chain 3 space. I'm going to chain 3. One thing I try to do is whenever I do change right there, that I double crochet over my tail that I've added in. That way it just kind of helps lock it in a bit. So go ahead and work your 3 double crochet there. Alright. Get all these ends out of the way. They add up quickly. And there we have it. We've added our next color. So we just completed our 4th row. So next I'm going to turn, or you're going to turn, and you're going to work these 2 squares, and then I'll see you whenever we get to this spot to change back to that color. Okay, so as you can see, we've worked these 2 squares. Now it's time to change back for our last yellow square. So again, I've got my loop right there. I'm going to put my hook back in there. Now remember, I told you to drop your yarn off in the front when you finish that. So now it's in your back of your work. So again, you're going to slip stitch in the top of those double crochets, pull up a loop, slip stitch into the top of those next 2, or that next double crochet in those 2 loops, pull up a loop, yarn through, slip stitch in that chain 3 space, and then you changed your color. Again, that yarn is there in the front. Okay, work that last yellow block. Okay, so now we've completed that last yellow block. Fits in right there. So now I need to change back to my second color. So this color is now done, so you can finish it off. Whatever you would like to do with it. If I could find my scissors, I would finish mine off. I'll have to wait a second. So you can drop it in the front, drop it in the back. It really doesn't matter at this point because you're done with it. And then you're going to grab from the back. Remember, told you to drop it in the front. So now it's on your back. And you're just going to bring it over, yarn over, and slip stitch right there, okay? So you've changed colors. Now, I apologize, my lighting, we've got storms rolling in, and what once was good lighting for my video has turned to be rather dark. So I've switched the colors there, but I want to make sure I don't pull it really tight or it causes it to bunch up whenever I work the square. So you want to make sure it's a looser loop sitting there. And again, you're going to chain 3, yarn over, and work your double crochets, and I'm working around that loop that I pulled over whenever I changed my colors there. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and slip stitch and continue working your color across. So where we stand at this point is we just finished this square right here. So you're going to go up and do this square, and then we're going to change colors to our third color. So I'll see you once you get done working this next square. Okay, so here we've completed our 5th row and we're ready to change to our 3rd color. So just like we did when we added our first color in, I'm going to pull that last yarn over, pull through 2, stitch out, and put the last 2 loops back on my hook. And I'm going to take my 3rd color, yarn over, pull through, and I just did my 3rd color change. So now I've got color number 3 on the hook. So go ahead and chain 6, work your 3 double crochet in those chain stitches, and I'll see you back to change to that color, which will go right here. Alright, so now we've finished the first color block of blue and our 3rd color. So what we're going to do is we need to switch back over to our 2nd color for this square right here. So again, I'm just going to leave that loop on my hook, and I'm going to drop that yarn in the front, and I'm going to grab my 2nd color from behind my work, and working in the top of those double crochets, I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. In the next double crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then slip stitch. Insert my hook in the next double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, slip stitch, and the same thing in that chain 3 space. Yarn over, pull up a loop, slip stitch, and then change to get that blue color off your hook. Now you're going to go ahead and work your pink square here, 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 and up here, and then we're going to change to our blue there. So you're going to be working this row right there, and I'll see you back when we're ready to put our blue on the other side of our row 6. We've worked across our row 6 to our last stitch, and we're going to add our blue so we finish up the row. So again, we're just going to make sure we leave our yarn in the front of our work and insert our hook into that chain 3 space, yarn over, and then pull through, and we've done the color change. We're going to go ahead and chain 3, work around that tail so that way you lock it in a bit, help secure it. And now we finished our row 6. So one thing I didn't mention was you are done using your other end of yarn from the 2nd color you added, so you can go ahead and cut that yarn off so you're not dealing with that. And this yarn will be able, this side of the yarn will be able to complete the rest of this color. So there you have it. That pretty much just repeats itself. If you have issues with the reducing side of things, once you get to this outer edge and you start shrinking your number of stitches in each row down, be sure to check out the link provided to Moogly blog, where she shows you a wonderful video on how to reduce with the corner to corner stitch. I hope you find this color change tutorial helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day.